for another edition of News Recap on News Ghana Clock, coming to you from our studio in Osu. My name is Hegel Fasua. Now, coming up in this edition, President Akufo-Addo welcomes plans for the establishment of a vehicle assembly plant in Ghana. We also take you to the Supreme Court, where a CPP member is seeking an injunction to restrict government in the construction of the National Cathedral. And also in business, about 1,700 workers who have been laid off in the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited are being asked to reapply for their jobs. And on the international scene, we take you to Ethiopia, where 18 people have died from a helicopter crash. And so we have details of these, including sports and entertainment news, will coming up in this edition. Please do stay. Let's start with our first story, where President Akufo-Addo has welcomed a decision by German car manufacturing giant Volkswagen to establish a vehicle assembly plant in Ghana. The president disclosed this at a joint press briefing held as part of the official visit of German Chancellor Angela Merkel to Ghana on Thursday, August 30 at the Jubilee House in Accra. We do other stories where a member of the Convention People's Party, James Kwabena Bonfair, also known as Caliber, has filed a suit at the Supreme Court seeking to prevent governments from partaking in the construction of the 5,000 seater National Cathedral. He is seeking an injunction to restrain government or any of its representatives from taking any steps towards the construction of the cathedral, including the demolition of the residences of the justices of the Supreme Court. But remember, you can also share your thoughts with regards to the construction of the National Cathedral in the comment section below. We do other stories. The National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, has assured Ghanaians that it acquired the residential properties in Takoradi in a transparent manner, devoid of any conflict of interest. Now, the GNPC in 2017 spent an amount of $7.5 million to secure residential accommodation for its CEO, Dr. KK Sapon. In Secondary Takoradi, reports show Dr. KK Sapon directed the company, the chief finance officer, to make a payment of $7.5 million to Global Haulage Company Limited, a company he once worked for as CEO. This has raised concerns over a possible conflict of interest. Moving on. In a related development, the minority in Parliament says the checks reveal that the actual cost of a residential facility being purchased by the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation for its staff in Takoradi is $9.5 million and not $7.5 million, as being indicated by the company. Now, the Member of Parliament for Bongo, Edward Bauer, says a GNPC payment authorization voucher shows bankers of the Petroleum Corporation were instructed to pay an additional $2 million to the Global Haulage Company Limited. We now go for a quick break and return with some more stories in the business sector. You're welcome back from the break. It's now time for some business updates, sponsored by Kessie Cooks. We now start with the first story. About 1,700 workers who have been laid off in the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited have been asked to reapply for their jobs for the various positions in the company. Now, this was contained in a memo which was issued to the staff. However, reports indicate management has since August 29 started a recruitment process. Now, the Bank of Ghana merged 5 banks into the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited on grounds of liquidity challenges with these banks. In other news, MTN has raised 1.1 billion Ghanaian cedis, selling about a third of the shares of the mobile telecommunication company made available in an initial public offering. According to a report by Bloomberg, MTN, Africa's biggest mobile phone company by subscribers, sold 1.5 billion securities of the 4.6 billion shares at 75 pesos each, when it offered a 35% stake in the unit in May. That's all for business updates. Next is sports. break, it's now time for us to do some sports. Ghana Premier League giants Kumasi Asante Kotoko clocked 83 years on August 31, 2018. Now, history has it that Mr. J.S.K. Frimpong, popularly called Teacher Frimpong, then a teacher of the Kumasi Government School who had all the time shown interest in the Kumasi Titanics, a club established in 1926, organized some men from his school and proposed a change of the name from Kumasi Titanics to Asante Kotoko SC. So that's some little history with regards to the name, how the name Asante Kotoko came about. We do some other stories where Spanish giant Barcelona will face Tottenham Hotspur in Group B as Juventus will return to Old Trafford as they face Manchester United. Now, other interested ties will see Paris Saint-Germain clash with Liverpool in Group C. Real Madrid will also battle AS Roma in Group C, and Spanish giants will be hoping to win the UEFA Champions League for a fourth record time. That's all the sports updates. Let's now do some international news. Some international stories now. 18 people have died in Ethiopia when a military helicopter crashed in the country's Oriyoma region. The 18 people include 15 members of the country's defense force and 3 civilians. Now, according to Ethiopian portal Addis Standard, the Ethiopian Air Force is investigating what led to the crash. That's all for the international news. Up next is entertainment. It's now time for us to do some entertainment stories. Ghanaian radio personality and artist manager Sammy Forson has finally tied the knot with his beautiful longtime girlfriend Pearl Yahaya in Ghana. The traditional wedding, which took place on Friday in Bolgatanga, was graced by celebrities including Lexus Bill, Philip Nye, among others. Now, we wish the couple the very best. This is how we wrap up for this week's edition of News Recap here on News Ghana Clock. But before we go, a quick run through the headlines. President Akufo-Addo welcomes plans for the establishment of a vehicle assembly plant in Ghana. We also took you to the Supreme Court where a CPP member is seeking an injunction to restrain government in the construction of the National Cathedral. And also in business, about 1,700 workers of the Ghana Consolidated Bank are being asked to reapply for their jobs. And also on the international scene, 18 people have died in a helicopter crash in Ethiopia. Thanks so much for making time to join us on this edition of News Recap here on News Ghana Clock. The news was produced by Ambulance Production and was also sponsored by Cassie Cooks and Ambulance Photos. Remember, you can also get interactive with us via our social media platforms on Facebook and also on YouTube. My name is Hegel Fuswa, and it's been a pleasure serving you.